Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today? How
I'm
was the
good.
weekend?
I've been running myself ragged over the last 4 or 5 days. It has been, I know we had some homework assignments, and quite frankly, I haven't been able to get a whole lot of it done, although I am going to be doing a couple of them this evening. I've been, with the storm coming through yesterday with Tropical Storm Hurricane Elsa, I know it skirted Orlando, so I was going to call my brother this afternoon, later on this evening. I'll give him a call, just double check and see how he's doing. I have a medical question for him, which I want to ask as well. And I've been, since Friday, when Lee had her surgery, it has been a trying time, to say the least. She requires a lot of care, being pushed back and forth around the house, back and forth to the bathroom. She's starting to become a little more mobile on her own. I just got home from work and I see she's out in the TV room. So obviously I don't know how she got out there, whether she pushed herself. Hopefully she did. I'm not sure, but I see Rob's not here, so maybe he did it before he left. I'm not sure. But having to, make meals for her and do the list of chores that she would like to have done around the house, it's, the other day, my day off was it Monday? Sunday I think was the holiday, and I barbecued for all of us, including Rob. Monday I was off, and I spent literally the entire day between dealing with her stuff and obvious stuff, because his schedule is kind of in flux right now between, it goes day to day now, whether he's at the office in the evening or whether he's working from home. So I have to be very flexible with that. And my schedule has been kind of screwy at work, so we've had to make a couple alternative arrangements to get him home, and so I haven't had much, haven't had much free time since Friday. So,
No, it definitely does sound like you've had a very long week.
yeah.
I mean, it's understandable that sometimes, some of the assignments that we might kind of talk about or want to end up doing sometimes get pushed a little bit to the wayside because of the other importance, of other activities. I'm happy to hear that, you guys were safe throughout the storm, and that Lee's surgery went well, and so, what we're gonna, for today, let's kind of focus on what's going on actively for this week, kind of what we want to do for the kind of between this session and next session, since there's a week to 2 weeks in between them, and as well, kind of, we're going to work a little bit with a behavior modification technique, or a way of, kind of working on possibly some of these concerns that you have. So, I do want to ask you, obviously, like you said, you've kind of already answered to a degree. So the homework assignments, what we're reaching out to your brother, and also kind of being aware of when we are going out on social events, spending time with others. So, just very briefly, you don't have to go into too much detail with the activities, but how many activities or events did you do? Since I know that you said that you couldn't reach out to your brother, you were a little bit swamped. Were there any activities or outings or anything like that you were able to do this week?
Well, I'm trying to remember. She had her surgery on Friday. Brought her home Friday afternoon. Was here at the house Friday. Saturday I went to work. Was off Sunday and Monday. Like I said, we barbecued here. We didn't go out anywhere during the day. You know, I think I went out. I went out with Avi to went to Walmart and a couple other places here and there, just running some errands. But that pretty much,
So less social events and more running errands.
yeah, running errands and work.
Okay.
We do have coming up, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, we have a social thing. Lee and I were going to be, I want to say Sarasota, but I don't think it's Sarasota. The Carnival, which is a crew, a Gasparilla crew event.
You told me in the past that she's part of one of the Gasparilla crews. So
yeah.
So it's good to hear that you are going to be participating at least in that event, and it's is understandable. Not every single week we end up going out with friends or socializing to the same degree. So that's understandable.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask: would you say that one of your major concerns or things that you still want to work on is the concept of being with friends, or would it? From what it sounds like, I mean, there sounds to be a lot of stress going on, and a lot of you having to dedicate your time towards others and their care. I mean, what would you say is the most important thing you want to work on for this week?
This week, I actually need to concentrate on myself. I went last week and had a blood taken for blood tests for Dr. Grant and the neurologist for my neuropathy. They should have gotten the results back by now. I'm surprised I haven't heard from them. And I need to contact my cardiologist. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I'll contact both of them tomorrow because I'm not sure if they were back in the office today because of the storm. But I'm going to call both of them tomorrow. Make follow-ups. I need to get over to Walgreens. I got a message that my medication, my antibiotics, since I saw that's what we did on Friday. Yeah, Avi and I went to the clinic. We both were experiencing bronchitis symptoms. So, and he got his medication, but unfortunately, I had my prescription sent to another pharmacy, and they did not have one of my medications. And the sinus infection that I have is causing two things: a ringing in my ears, like a high pitch, not a ringing, but like a buzzing sound, primarily in my right ear, but
kind of like tinnitus.
Yeah, kind of like a tinnitus. Yeah. Exactly, and that's causing that, and also, ironically, a sinus infection can affect your jaws as well. So I feel like almost like I've got toothaches, on both sides. But I know I don't have any wisdom tooth left, so I know it's nothing like that, So unfortunately, I borrowed one of Avi's. Because I found out that his medication and mine same. So, but
okay.
So I'm going to be calling both of them this week because I think.
So from what I'm hearing though, so this week, like you're saying, is prioritizing your health over others, which is definitely a good thing. I mean, from what you said, you do have to take care of Avi. You're taking care of Lee, and at the end of the day, if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't really take care of them. So maybe for this week, what we kind of prioritize is, as I stated a little while ago, this behavior, and kind of be mindful of that, because what I'm hearing you say is, yes, I'm a caregiver and I have to / want to take care of both of them, because you care about them is what I hear. But it's also, we need to be mindful and taking care of ourselves. So maybe throughout the week, What do you feel some things are that you can do that can kind of trigger that reminder, that mindfulness of being, okay, let me take a step back, let me take some time for myself, and what does that look like? Because it looks very different for different people.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's a little bit of a
one of the things is, and this has always been, ever since I've known Lee and been involved with her, that I guess when I walk in the door from work, everybody needs a little time to de-stress.
Of course.
And
you just get through after a long day and you need a little bit of you time, however long that is.
10 minutes, give me 15 minutes, and that is not something I ever get with her. I walk in the door and within 30 seconds usually she is talking to me about what she wants me to do, or we got to do this, or we got to do that, or we got to do this, or and it's like just the old 50s and 60s movies where the husband walked in and the wife handed him a martini, and he sat down and enjoyed his martini before he talked to her. I think there was a logic behind that, and I would like to reinstitute that, maybe not with a martini, but with something else,
Maybe a nice glass of wine.
A glass of wine or something, or a glass of orange juice, or a glass of half and half,
Okay.
But that's
So maybe in that case, do you feel like it would be possible to maybe sit down with her and kind of have that conversation of needing a barrier there, and not only for your mindfulness, but for her mindfulness, having that conversation and saying, hey, however that might look, but, maybe starting, I when I get home, I understand that you need assistance, and especially after your surgery, but I also need to breathe for a few minutes, and can we give me a window where I take, however much time that is, and do something that helps you to remind yourself to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, in light of being brutally honest, I will certainly approach her about it. However, I don't think that is something that she is capable of doing.
What makes you feel that way? That she's incapable of doing that? Would it be more personality?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely her personality. Okay. This is somebody who gets an idea in their head and has to talk about it right now. I can't tell you how many times she calls me at work just to tell me one thing, for something having to do with something we're doing 6 months from now. Just, an idea pops into her head. She's a very impetuous, very impromptu type of person in that respect. And I think she would have an extremely hard time reining in her desire to communicate things in the first 15 or 20 minutes that I'm home.
So then what can you do for yourself, since we're talking about this mindfulness? What is a activity that you enjoy that you do at the house? Something that you can take that, doesn't take too long, but it still gives you that me time, that gives you that step back.
Really, the only thing that there is that I can do is to go out in the TV room, and especially now that she's less mobile, go out in the TV room and spend time out there, because it's harder for her to get out there. but really, you know, I used to spend time in my room watching, Netflix and stuff on the computer, and just constantly, coming in while I'm trying to watch stuff on the computer, and so that doesn't work too well either anymore.
Okay.
So that's part of the reason why when I get home from work, that I not necessarily don't come right in, because I may stay outside, park my car, read my emails, and stuff like that before I come inside.
So you kind of create your own little barrier to a degree by doing that,
Yeah.
and whether it's reading an email or watching Netflix in the car.
Yeah.
But that definitely is. I mean, that right there is being mindful of it, recognizing you need a break, recognizing you have limited time, and that you will be, as you put it to a degree, bombarded when you come through the door because of those needs to be talked about now, despite it being months from now, sort of mentality. So I am happy to hear that you're doing that. So maybe for this week then, if you feel that it would be useful, keeping track of how often you're needing to do that, how often you're able to maybe, take a breather, whether that's making yourself a snack, whether it's watching a little bit of TV in that TV room, or whether it's, needing to sit out there in the car, like you said, how much time you're spending doing that comparatively to how much time you're spending taking care, being that caregiver.
Yeah.
And obviously, you don't need to have like an intense log of I spend 17 minutes in this on one day and 40 this day. It can be just as kind of a summary of it, and whatever you feel comfortable with. That way, we can kind of understand how much time you're taking comparatively, because you got to give equal amount of time to yourself that you do for others. Otherwise, you get what's known as burnout.
Yeah.
You become overstretched, and then it gets hard to help others. And if you're not in a place for yourself to be able to, help.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
I definitely, I do hear that it's a lot.
That's my stuff for this week. I need to call the doctors, both doctors' offices. I need to call my brother and try to get this living will finished.
I know that we'd spoken a little bit about that concern about life and living. Obviously, as you said, that whether or not the next 5-10 years, if it's possible with the way that you've been feeling. But I also do hear you saying you're taking care of your health. You're going to these doctor appointments, which is good, and trying to do everything that you can. But other than that, was there anything else that you did want to talk about for this particular session?
No, not really.
So just to kind of summarize what we discussed, So we checked in. The week was a little bit stressful. We weren't really able to get too much into the homework because of just the hurricane and feeling a little bit under the weather, and knee surgery and doctor's appointments, things like that. So we discussed that. We discussed a little bit how we're going to try and work on our mindfulness, throughout the week, taking times for ourselves, taking a step back every once in a while when we need to, and kind of keeping track of how much time we're spending on both of those activities between ourselves and caring for others.
I would say that summarizes it pretty well.
Well, if there was nothing else you wanted to talk about, of course, I will see you in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, okay?
Sounds good. See you then.